Hello and welcome to this special Independence Day edition of Investors Hangout. The series is brought to you by Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund and Value Research. Now, every year on August 15th, we delve into a topic that's related to financial freedom. Likewise, this year, we'll talk about the 7 stages of financial freedom, where you actually are, what is your next step, and how you can accomplish your goals. And to help us explore this topic, we have with us someone who has helped millions of Indians rethink their money. Welcome, Dhirendra.
Thank you.
To start this conversation, we often talk about financial freedom. We hear a lot about it, but it's not really one stage that you've reached financial freedom. There are multiple layers to it. So, can you help us peel these layers one by one and explain what these 7 layers actually are?
Yes, financial freedom is a very talked about subject. A lot of youngsters are also getting interested. Financial freedom is not some goalpost that you have to achieve. It's not a distance that you have to, it's not a 150-meter race. It comes in stages. It's a gradual process. It will take its own time. But you can apply your mind to comprehend what it is. The first stage is, not depending on others. You may not be independent, but you are not essentially dependent on something which is, very basic. Then comes, solvency. That you have 100 rupees when you need it. You are earning, but you don't have the money because it's getting stuck in some repayment or something. So if you have essential solvency for all your essentials, that's the second stage. And that is, one is to get out of dependence, then remain solvent. These are 2 essential things for every individual. And then comes, building some margin, achieving some stability, having a predictable cash flow. If you are in a profession or if you are in a business which does not have a predictable cash flow, you are not getting a salary on first, then you have built some cushion so that you have the stability. And as a result of which you will have this sense of security. Once you have these 3-4 things, then it is an irreversible process. Then you take pride in this. Then once you have the security, you also become helpful to others. Then you have the real joy, flexibility. You have the joy of it's not about doing something. It is making sure that you can stop doing what you don't like. That I think is ultimate flexibility. That is ultimate, because many a times people do things which they don't enjoy. Sometimes they hate. And that is, I think, a fallout of financial freedom. If once you are financially free, you don't have to worry about it, then you can at least think about it. Then comes real independence, that, okay, you want to do something, you have to take some step, and you need the money, and you have the resources to do it, you go ahead and do it. Whether it be charity, and it is not only in financial or, essential things only. It is about being charitable. It is about something which is so close to your heart. It could be something which could be a hobby. You want to take 3 months off to do something or learn something. It could be any of those things. I come across, variety of people who have a financial aspiration, not for something which is, for another financial aspiration. It is for spending. It is for learning. It is for some desire, and they will really relish those desires being fulfilled. And then comes, if you have achieved all these things and you are financially successful too, then comes a stage where, you have abundance. And it's a good problem to have, problem of plenty. And that's the time when you start thinking that, okay, what kind of legacy I leave? Do I leave it for my children? Do I leave it for my grandchildren? There could be people, who want to leave a legacy for some cause, which is directed and it is meaningful, whereby it can make a difference. It can make a societal difference. So these are 7 stages. The first 4 stages are essentials that will help you lead a life of dignity, and the subsequent 2, it will help you lead a life of respectful life, and the final one you can be actually proud of.
Right. So these are the 7 stages of financial freedom. Now, since we're talking about it, let's also talk about this latest obsession with FIRE, financial independence, and then retire early. You also wrote about it recently. Does that fit anywhere in this financial framework that you've provided?
Oh, it does. It definitely is a good aspiration to have. And we recently did a cover story in Mutual Fund Insight. It has triggered a debate because of late we have seen that social media triggers a kind of excitement about an expression which is racy, which is interesting, and people get swayed by it. It has just nudged people to think that okay, financial independence is undoubtedly important. Whether you retire at 35 or 45 or 55, even at 65, is important. No doubts about it. Retire early, you should have a plan B. You should not only have a plan A, you should have a plan B, and you should also have a plan C. That just in case you change your mind, just in case if the context changes. Because at 35, 45, we change very differently with our mindset. The rigidities of mind is a much bigger problem. So if you have some hobby, or if you have something where having essential money will help you pursue something about which you have a concrete plan, uh, then it's fine, it's welcome. But otherwise, even without that, the first bit, which is financial independence, is crucial. You should be very sensitive to the very basic fact that you get your job at 20 or 25. Next 25, 30 years, you will be earning. And in these 30 years, you have to make sure that you are saving and investing in such a manner which will take care of the next 45 years. And that is something which most people should certainly be prepared for. And that is financial independence. Financial independence is not the first stage that you are financially independent. You are able to make a living. You don't have to borrow to make a living. You are able to take care of, and you are able to build those essential assets which will help you sustain economical living. And also take care of your essential responsibility, making sure that will it be enough for you to take care of the years when you will not be earning. And so that part is fine. Retire early cannot be a mantra. It cannot be you cannot be blinded about it. And we should certainly have a very interesting, compelling, and you should be passionate about that plan first. If you are not passionate about that plan, and if you retire early, that might turn out to be a liability.
Right. So, what really are the pitfalls of retiring early?
You thought that you will have fun, or you thought that you'll pursue this hobby which you have, but then you thought that okay, after doing it, maybe you realize that it did not work out, or maybe any of your financial circumstances changed in such a manner which led to excessive spending for some crisis, for some emergency, which derailed your plan. How do your estimate of the buffer or the emergency, or the essential requirement was underestimated, and you can't get back to work anyway. Many of the careers are getting shorter. Many a time, with all the societal changes, all the technological changes, all the financial changes, uh, the careers are not getting longer. I don't come across too many people who are actually working and retiring at 65. Occasionally, and it happens mostly in the government. I haven't seen too many people in the private sector. They somehow get phased out. I think one should be conscious of that.
Right. So, retiring early might not be as feasible as we plan to. Then, how do we really build this financial independence?
Financial independence is, be careful about your spending so that you can invest as much in equity as possible. Make sure that you are diversified. Make sure that you are in a performing asset. It's not an investment with heavy cost. If you are taken care of these three things, and second one is important, and that is where value research also plays an active role, helping you choose a good fund, helping you choose a good stock. There has been occasion, and there will be many occasions in the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, that market will fall by 10, 15, 20, 30%, and in a span of 1 week to 3 months, and it'll make a comeback again. That is a time when your belief, once reinforced, helps you stay the course. Otherwise, people go wrong. And this is where I think having plenty, much more margin of error, having substantially more, let me just give you an example that why financial independence is important and how truly financial independence will be achieved. You think that 50 lakh rupees is needed for your retirement, then aspire to have a crore of rupees. We do not factor in the emotional chemistry, emotional framework that changes around us the moment our cash flows come to a halt. When you are earning, you are more confident. When you are earning, you have greater belief in future. When you stop earning, then you turn little conservative. If you are really aspiring to retire early, have a margin of safety, and that margin of safety should be 2x of the normal retirement corpus that you should have.
Right now, let's step back a little and go back to the initial levels. How does one really move from level 2 to 3, solvency to stability, and thereon?
When I was a student, then most of my classmates and mine, the remittance which we will get from home will be exhausted by 25th. So there were few rich, classmates, our friends, who will be, lender for next 5-7 days till we wait for the replenishment. So ensure that you have enough money that lasts the whole
You are
month.
one of those.
For one of those. Then comes that, you are able to build some buffer. So that is solvency. If you are able to build a buffer of 1 month so that your salary gets delayed, you do that. Then you are able to build a buffer of 3 to 6 months of income. Or, not necessarily income. It could be less than income. It could be your spending need. If every month you are spending some X amount, then if you have 6X of that, so you are reasonably taken care of. That will also work as your emergency fund. You will not have to, you will not be empty. You'll not have to lay your hand for something basic. That is the plan time when you have to really start SIP. You have to do it for X amount. It could be 100 rupee, it could be 500 rupee, it could be 250 rupees, whatever. You can do it with recurring deposit. The problem is that it will grow only 7%. The moment it happens with 12%, and sometimes you get lucky with a stock market going up by 15, 20, 25%, that has a disproportionate impact on your mind. You start developing a belief in that. Having, belief in yourself and your actions and seeing the results is one of the biggest demonstration for you to stay the course.
So, at these levels, what are the common mistakes that you have seen people making over the years?
No, the common mistake is a very normal mistake. It's there's nothing, nobody does a blunder. A lot of times people don't appreciate this. They don't appreciate the value of what they have achieved. They think that it is an accident. It has happened. And if they don't take the money out and consume, it will slip away. So they just go ahead and spend it. And they think that, they can do it anytime. And this compounding thing is actually one step at a time. The first step to form the habit. Second is to actually make meaningful. And the more is at work, the faster it grows. Belief in compounding. Because in between, if they are faced with a decline, they just might panic. That is a mistake. But that is also a very normal mistake. Sometimes your needs are trivial, or it could be an impulsive need. So many a times the spenders are actually the biggest threat to your own long-term financial well-being and health.
Right. So, now if someone asks you, how long until I reach independence, financial independence, or abundance level, what would be your answer to that?
I can't answer it. This answer will be different for every person. If I'm going to live in my village, like a sage, financially independent, my needs will be very different. If I want to aspire for something in Mumbai, and once in a while I also want to charter a plane for my holiday, it could be very different.
Yeah.
So, and we have people at all point. So it's nearly impossible to do that. All these things are changed radically. So prepare it for your emergency and your retirement. That will require something like 12 years of worth of your expenses, equivalent, invested methodically beyond the emergency fund, for medical conditions and other things. If you already have a house, that is the tentative estimate that I will have. But then if you get aspirational about something in between, I think it will anywhere between 12 to 15 years worth of your monthly expenses, invested methodically in equity and conservatively in debt.
All right. Well, thank you, Dhirendra, for that elaborate framework.
Thank you.
So, where do you stand out of these 7 levels of financial freedom? Do let us know in the comment section. So, you also remember that financial freedom is not an act, it's a journey. It's a journey of small conscious steps to reach that destination. Keep watching this space for more information. If you like the show, do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.